My name is Isabella, and today something important is going to happen in my life. I wake up early, and my phone is already full of messages from my mother. She writes, "Remember the big party tomorrow. Many people will be there. Be ready." I look at the message and feel tired. This happens every time. My parents have money, hotels, and power, but they do not have peace. They think money can make people happy, but I do not believe that. They want me to marry a rich man named Ethan. They say he is perfect, but I don't even like him. He only talks about himself and his money. My parents call it a good opportunity. I call it a plan without love. I want to marry for love, not for business. I want a simple life. I want someone who listens, who smiles, and who stays when life is hard. But my parents don't understand that. They just say, "You will thank us later." I close my phone and take a deep breath. I feel angry and sad. Then I have an idea, a crazy idea, something different, something brave. If they want to control my life, maybe I can surprise them this time. I decide to find someone who can help me, someone unexpected. I walk to the park near my house. The air feels quiet and free. Many people walk fast. Some talk on the phone. Some just look tired. Then I see a man sitting near the fountain. His clothes are dirty. He looks poor but calm. He's not asking for money. He just sits. I stop and watch him for a moment. He looks peaceful, not angry or sad. Something about him feels honest, like he is not pretending to be anyone. I walk closer, and he looks at me. Our eyes meet for a second. My heart beats fast, but I do not feel afraid. I feel curious. I think, maybe he can help me. Maybe this is my chance to change. I walk a little closer and take a deep breath before I speak. I say, "Excuse me. I need your help tomorrow night. Please listen to me." He looks surprised. He says nothing, waiting for me to explain more. Then I say, "I will pay you if you pretend to be my boyfriend tomorrow." He blinks, confused. The sound of the fountain feels louder. Everything stops for a moment. He finally smiles a little and says, "You're serious, aren't you?" Question: would you help a stranger who asks you to be their fake boyfriend for one night? He looks at me and laughs a little, like he thinks I am joking. I say, "I am serious. I just need one night, one party, please." He stops laughing. He looks at me again, this time with real curiosity. "You want me to pretend to be your boyfriend? But why me?" he asks. I smile and say, "Because you don't know my world. You are real." He looks down for a moment, thinking. Then he slowly nods his head. "Okay," he says softly. "If you are sure, I can do it." My heart jumps. I can't believe he said yes. I thank him immediately. I tell him the plan, the time, the place, and what he needs to do. He listens carefully, without interrupting. He asks only one question. "What should I wear?" I smile and say, "Don't worry, I'll take care of that part." The next day, I send my driver to bring him to my house. When he arrives, my employees look shocked. They whisper, "Who is that man?" I tell them, "He is my guest. Please help him. Haircut, clean clothes, everything." They follow my orders, but I can see confusion in their faces. They probably think I've lost my mind. but for the first time, I feel calm. While they help him, I stay in my room, waiting and thinking about tonight. I keep asking myself, why am I doing this? What will my parents say? But deep inside, I know I need to do it, to feel free once. At 7 o'clock, I hear a knock on my door. My heart beats faster. I open it slowly, and I almost don't recognize him. He looks clean, confident, and completely different, but his eyes are still kind. He smiles and says, "Is this good enough for a fake boyfriend?" I laugh for the first time that day. "Perfect," I say softly. We drive to the party together. The road feels longer than usual. He looks out the window, quiet but calm. I feel safe beside him. When we arrive, all eyes turn to us. The music stops for a second. My parents look shocked. Ethan, the rich man, looks angry and confused. My mother says in a cold voice, "Isabella, who is this man?" I take a deep breath and say, "He is my boyfriend. His name is Daniel." The people around us start whispering. Some laugh quietly. Some look uncomfortable. But Daniel stays calm. He shakes my father's hand and says, "Nice to meet you." My father doesn't answer. He just watches Daniel with hard, cold eyes. The silence feels heavy, but Daniel doesn't move. He stands strong beside me. Then something unexpected happens. Ethan walks closer with a proud smile. He says, "So, this is your boyfriend?" He looks different from your usual friends. I can feel the anger growing inside me, but Daniel speaks before I do. He looks at Ethan and says quietly, "Maybe I don't have money, but I have respect." Everyone goes silent. For a moment, no one knows what to say. My heart fills with pride. For the first time, someone defends me with truth. Ethan's smile disappears, and my parents look shocked. Something inside me begins to change forever. Question: if you were Isabella, would you keep pretending or tell everyone the real story? After Daniel speaks, the room becomes very quiet. Everyone is looking at him now. My father clears his throat and says, "Dinner's ready. Let's sit." We walk to the big table. My parents sit in silence, watching every move. Daniel sits beside me. He eats slowly, politely, and says thank you to everyone. The people at the table look at him with surprise. He speaks with simple, kind words. He doesn't try to impress anyone. He just stays calm and respectful. Somehow, that makes everyone listen to him even more. I watch him and feel something strange inside me. Peace. For the first time in years, I am not pretending to be perfect. After dinner, people move to the dance floor. The music starts again. Daniel stands up and looks at me. "May I have this dance?" he asks. I laugh a little and say, "You don't have to do this." He smiles and says, "I know, but I want to." We walk to the center. People whisper, some smile, some look angry. Daniel holds my hand carefully. We start dancing slowly. At first, I feel nervous, but then I start to relax. He looks into my eyes and says quietly, "You are brave, Isabella." I almost forget that this is supposed to be fake. When the song ends, people actually clap. I can't believe it. Even my mother smiles a little, trying to hide her surprise. For a few moments, Everything feels normal, happy, peaceful, real. But then Ethan walks closer again. His face looks angry. He says, "You think this poor man can replace me? You're making a joke, Isabella." Daniel stays calm. He says, "I'm not trying to replace anyone. I just respect her choice." My father suddenly says, "Enough. Isabella, come with me." We walk to the garden behind the house where no one can hear us. He says, "This game ends tonight. You will not embarrass our family again." I take a deep breath. My hands are shaking, but I don't look away. I say, "This is not a game, Father. I just want to live my own life." He looks shocked. He has never heard me talk like this before. Then Daniel appears behind us. He says quietly, "Sir, please let her speak." My father looks at him with anger. "You don't belong here," he says coldly. Daniel answers calmly, "Maybe not, but tonight I was invited by your daughter." For a moment, no one talks. Even the night feels silent. My father walks away without another word. I turn to Daniel and say softly, "Thank you. You didn't have to do that." He smiles a little. "Sometimes doing the right thing is not easy," he says. We stand in silence, looking at the lights from the party inside. Something inside me feels new, like I am finally free to be myself. Daniel looks at me and says, "There is something you don't know about me." Question: what do you think Daniel is hiding? Would you still trust him after tonight? When Daniel says those words, I stop breathing for a second. His eyes look calm but serious. I can tell something important is coming. He says, "I wasn't always poor, Isabella. My life was very different before." I look at him, confused. "What do you mean?" I ask quietly. He sighs and looks away for a moment before speaking again. "I used to have everything: money, car, a big house, and a company." My mouth opens a little. I can't believe what I just heard. He continues, "But I left everything 1 year ago. I wanted to see real life." I ask, "Why would you do that? Why live like this on the street?" He smiles softly. "Because I wanted to understand people. I wanted to find honesty." His voice sounds calm, but I can feel the truth in his words. He says, "When you met me, you didn't ask who I was. You just talked." I stay quiet. My heart feels warm and strange at the same time. He looks at me and says, "That's why I agreed to help you." The music from the party is still playing inside the house, but out here in the garden, everything feels different, simple and real. I finally ask, "So, who are you really?" He takes a deep breath and answers, "My name is Alexander Blake." The name sounds familiar. I've heard it in business news before. He says, "My family owns a large company in the city." I cover my mouth in shock. You're Alexander Blake?" He nods slowly. "Yes, but for 1 year I lived without money or name." He explains that he wanted to see if people could love him for who he is. Not for his company, not for his last name, just for his heart. I don't know what to say. My eyes fill with tears. I finally whisper, "So all this time you were testing me?" He shakes his head. "No, I was testing myself." The wind feels cold, but my heart feels warm. He steps closer and says, "You were the first person who really saw me." I don't move. I just listen to his quiet voice and kind eyes. He says, "I'm not asking you to love me. I just wanted you to know." For a moment, everything around us disappears. The music, the lights, the party. It's only him and me, standing there in the garden under the stars. Then suddenly, I hear my father's voice calling from the house. "Isabella, where are you? Come back inside right now." I look at Daniel, or Alexander, not knowing what to do next. He says softly, "Go. I'll wait for you." I nod, still in shock, and walk slowly back toward the house. My father's face looks angry. My mother's face looks afraid. I feel a storm coming, but I know I can't hide anymore. My father says loudly, "Isabella, you will never see that man again." Question: what would you do if your heart says yes, but your family says no? My father's words hit me like cold water. You will never see that man again. Everyone in the room is quiet. Only the music plays softly in the background. I take a deep breath and look at my parents. My hands are shaking a little. I say, "Father, please listen. I know what you think, but you are wrong." He looks angry. "Wrong? You don't know that man. He has nothing." I answer calmly. Maybe he has no money, but he has something more important: honesty. My mother whispers, "Isabella, please, don't make this harder." I shake my head. I'm not making it harder. I'm making it true. Everyone looks at me like I am a stranger, but I feel stronger than before. For the first time, I'm not afraid of losing their approval. I say, I don't need a rich husband. I need someone who respects me. Then I turn around and walk toward the garden again. Daniel, or Alexander, is still there, waiting like he promised. When he sees me, he smiles, but his eyes look a little sad. He says quietly, "Did you tell them?" I nod. Yes, they don't understand, but I had to be honest. He smiles again and says, "That's what I liked about you from the beginning." I ask, "Will you stay, or will you go back to your old life?" He looks up at the sky and says, "Maybe I can do both, live with purpose." I take his hand. It feels warm, steady, real. I say softly, "Then let's both live with purpose and without fear." We walk away from the house together. The night feels quiet and free. For the first time in my life, I don't feel owned. I feel alive. The city lights shine in the distance, but I'm not thinking about money anymore. I'm thinking about truth, love, and the chance to start again. We stop near the park where we first met. The fountain still makes the same sound. He looks at me and says, "You found me when I was nobody." I smile and answer, "And you helped me find myself." He laughs softly. "Maybe we both needed that." I nod. Yes, sometimes we must lose what's fake to find what's real. The wind feels light. My heart feels calm. I know this is just the beginning. Love is not about money or names. It's about truth, kindness, and freedom. Never be afraid to follow your heart. Real love doesn't need permission. It needs courage. Question: what does real love mean to you? Would you choose truth over comfort?